For nearly 40 years, the town of Monte Vista, centrally located in the heart of the San Luis Valley, has hosted the annual Monte Vista Crane Festival. Every spring, without fail, tens of thousands of Sandhill Cranes take up short-term residence in and around the Monte Vista National Wildlife Refuge. With the majestic Sangre de Cristo mountain range as a spectacular backdrop, birders, photographers, and the curious all head south of town to view this yearly migration and watch the Sandhill Cranes in all their glory.
The Crane Fest is a great venue for the San Luis Valley, especially right here in Rio Grande County. But as it comes up and it's just not only the tourist attraction, but also the migration of the cranes. As they pass through here, the cranes are a unique feature to the San Luis Valley, and we need to continue to advocate for their cranes and also our open spaces too.
I've seen a lot of stuff come and go, and one of the things that's been pretty amazing has been the Crane Festival. It started from a little bit of nothing and has grown to something that is a destination point for a lot of people outside of the state of Colorado and even outside of the United States.
So the Crane Festival is really important to us at KSLV because my mentor and longtime owner at the radio stations, Bob Gorley, was involved all those years ago in the very first Crane Festival in the idea to have a Crane Festival, and we know what it's grown to over the years and how important it's become for the local economy and the local businesses.
Our Sandhill Cranes, as well as all life with native tribes, was always sacred. From the winged, the crawling, two-legged and four-legged, every form of life was always sacred. Crane has many different meetings with the different peoples at Turtle Island. I love coming through, having them come through. It's great hearing their sound. It's a blessing every day.
In late 2019, Monte Vista Chamber Board member Ken Hamko took an idea for a community art and city beautification project and made it happen, bringing this annual celebration into the heart of downtown Monte Vista.
I and a bunch of other people in town have been, the last couple of years, thinking of all kinds of things that we can do to bring tourism to Monte Vista, to bring more excitement to downtown Monte Vista. I started thinking about how really cool it would be to have cranes out on the streets, painted cranes. We have a local metal cutting shop here, and I talked with them. I showed them a drawing of the cranes, and they were able to put it on their computer and laser them. John Patterson is a local artist. John gave me a list of 10 or 15 artists to get started with. I contacted those artists, and they in turn gave me names of artists. And quickly I realized that Monte Vista and the SL Valley have a tremendous amount of artists out there.
Last year's experience with it, I seen so many people out and about with their families, walking down the streets, looking at all the painted cranes that we had. It was really good to see, especially during the year we had of 2020.
Last year was our first year, and it was so successful. People really enjoyed stopping in Monte Vista, taking a walk downtown, and looking at all the different cranes. It was really a positive project for the chamber, especially because it was during the COVID pandemic and all the businesses were shut down almost, and it just brought some joy.
One of the really cool things in Monte Vista that we have is the Swoop of the Cranes, and if you haven't seen it, a lot of people started to see it last year. You know, I think that it brought people, you actually saw people stop their cars, get out, and walk around downtown to check out these cranes. And the great thing was that there's a single template, but all the art was different, and it kind of celebrates both the cranes here and the great amount of artists that our community has.
With regard to the Swoop of the Cranes, that was an event that took place for the first time last year. We were really proud to be a part of. And not unlike some of the other things that dress up this town, be it Christmas or 4th of July, I thought the Swoop of the Cranes was an outstanding idea that dressed up the town, showed off the artists, and really sort of set us apart and took the the Crane Festival to the next level.
Arts and festivals play an important role in local communities. They attract talent, spur innovation, bring communities together, and grow communities. The Monte Vista Crane Festival has been a long-standing tradition and has grown exponentially over the years. The festival brings visitors from all over the world, and with the inaugural Swoop of the Cranes has brought even more visitors. It sparked further interest in the city of Monte Vista.
Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the Swoop of the Cranes art project was a smashing success, with people coming from all over the region to view the painted cranes on display in downtown Monte Vista.
We're going to be doing this again in 2021. I've seen some of the cranes already, and I just want to invite everybody in the community, everybody in the valley, and everybody in the state of Colorado to make sure they come to Monte Vista and walk around and take a look at all the fine artwork that's going to be hanging up.
So this year we are doing the same cranes with different artistic talents. We have a lot of our returning artists that were tickled to do it again this year. Last year we had 51 cranes that were completed and hung throughout Monte Vista, downtown Monte Vista, and this year we had 60 of them produced.
Monte Vista really is getting a name nationwide and even worldwide for the Crane Festival. And this is terrific, leveraging that knowledge or the experience around the Crane Festival to do this Swoop of the Cranes. So what a terrific thing to take that and build upon it. It is fantastic.
As an artist here, I helped design and paint one of the cranes this year for the Crane Fest. I got kind of creative with my crane. I did one out of sand paint, so it was a Sandhill Crane, so I painted it with a little bit of a colored sand.
This has been an exceptionally big hit. Last year was the first year. You come driving into Monte Vista and see a crane on each light pole, it gets your attention, and then people are starting to wonder, well, what's going on? So they stop and pull over to see what's going on, and maybe by the same token they spend a little bit of money. But it's a great deal, and we hope to continue to make the Swoop of the Crane grow, along with the Crane Fest, make it even bigger and better with our new building out at Sky High Park.
Not only is this a wonderful project showcasing the incredible artistic talent in our area, but there is also a huge economic impact on the town of Monte Vista and the rest of the San Luis Valley.
It brings a lot of people to Monte Vista and that are from outside even the state. I know we have people from, Europe like Germany, and we have people from Japan and Australia, and they come here and they really get welcomed into this community, and it does help a lot of our businesses. Certainly the restaurants pick up quite a bit, and and it's a fun event. And honestly, the vendor show is really awesome. The chamber gets really good vendors. It's a great event, and we're looking forward to next year having it in the new Sky High Events and Conference Center.
So we saw not only for our storefront, also when we vended, people got to see and they found our shop a lot more because of that. And a lot of people in the valley, in town, for the cranes.
I think it had a very big positive impact to Monte Vista. The cranes were up last year when we had our annual Crane Festival, and we get a lot of tourists from outside the valley and outside the state, and the fact that people would look at them and they made their efforts to stop and look at each crane. Even in the summertime, the places that I would go and people would ask me, where are you from? And I would say Monte Vista. That was the first thing that they would talk about, was how beautiful those cranes were and how much they enjoyed it.
Exposure helps. The feelings, in my opinion, help, right? How do you feel about Monte Vista? And positive feelings about a town will make people come back and spend money. Even people here in the valley or people who live in Monte Vista, you have something like this that happens 2 years in a row, and the buzz that it generates, you got the Sky High project going on, people start to feel better about their town. They start to want to shop there, they start to want to eat there, they stand up with a little more pride.
On an average, we see a spike in sales tax revenue of roughly 25%, but in the first year of the Swoop of the Cranes, we actually saw an increase of 54% in our sales tax. So with that, it's interesting to see how it's not only helped the city grow financially, but we know that it's helping our local economy grow as well.
The impact of the Swoop of the Cranes exceeded expectations, with word of this fantastic art project reaching across the state and far beyond.
The Swoop of the Crane Festival is a wonderful, locally based initiative that celebrates one of the most iconic animals of the San Luis Valley and a major source of pride for the community of Monte Vista. And it really brings a wonderful vibe to our main street with all these locally created cranes that decorate our thoroughfares.
The painted cranes are fantastic. I love seeing that. It draws people in. They get to see everything downtown. They get to see the cranes. Each one is painted by different people. And they're wonderful, just like this one standing right here beside me. And people can come and they can vote on their favorite crane.
I was raised to have an appreciation for the arts. You know, we made trips down to Taos to the local galleries all the time, and so when the cranes came to town, as far as the Swoop of the Cranes with them on the lampposts, it kind of brought back a little bit of nostalgia for me, and walking the galleries, you know, driving down the streets and seeing the cranes kind of brought some of that back.
Last year, just driving down Main Street in Monte and seeing all the different cranes and having to go along and check out each individual crane and the artist, I just look at this as a total positive for Monte Vista and the Valley. I'm amazed at where this has started and where this has gone.
The cranes last year were amazing. We had 50 cranes that were all just really fantastic art-wise, and we were able to vote on them, put them on the street and all that, and it created a lot of interaction from the people just visiting the town and allowing them just kind of cruise and walk between them and then just go into individual businesses.
My office window goes right out to the highway, and the number of people walking the street, pausing to look at crane after crane as they went down was really fantastic, and I thought that was awesome.
Come enjoy the Swoop of the Cranes art project in downtown Monte Vista, Colorado, every year from March until September. This is something you definitely don't want to miss.
The cranes that you're looking at when you drive by through Monte Vista, it's beautiful, it's fun, but you should really stop, go on date night, go as a family outing, but see these cranes close up. The one behind me is from Lisa Garcia, and she spent hours creating it with real flowers and plants that she put into this crane. So you'll enjoy the detail if you stop in Monte Vista, support the local businesses, and enjoy seeing the cranes in this year's Crane Swoop.
We welcome everyone coming out to come visit us, come visit the cranes, see what it's all about, and ask questions.
We would invite you all down to Monte Vista to see all the cranes. They're going to be posted all around town.
Come to Monte Vista. Walk up and down our streets, take a look at these cranes. They are absolutely beautiful. The preciseness, the intricateness, the color, everything that was put into the cranes this year is just amazing.
Monte strong.